Welcome back to the command center of celebrity analysis, whatever you need. In a digital landscape cluttered with superficial soundbites and fleeting gossip, we pride ourselves on being the architects of deep-dive journalism. We do not just report the storm, we fly directly into the eye of the hurricane to understand the atmospheric pressure changes that caused it. Today, we are turning our analytical radar toward the undisputed royalty of the Turkish entertainment industry. Kerem Bürsin and Hande Erçel. For years they have been the gold standard, the exemplary couple, whose chemistry rewrote the rulebook on on-screen romance bleeding into real life. They were the fairy tale the public desperately wanted to believe in. But recently, the frequency has shifted. A dissonance has entered the melody. We are investigating a claim that threatens to shatter the illusion of perfection. A reported clash not between the lovers themselves, but between the dynasties that forged them. Before we peel back the layers of this complex family drama, I need you to confirm your allegiance to independent reporting. Make sure you are subscribed. And for those who demand a higher tier of insight, I invite you to click the join button below. Our members are the backbone of this channel, allowing us to ignore the clickbait and focus on the truth. Now let us step into the private room where the laughter reportedly stopped and the silence began. The narrative of Hanker, as the global fanbase affectionately calls them, has always been one of seamless harmony. They were the yin and yang of the Bosphorus, perfectly aligned in aesthetic and energy. However, sources deep within the Istanbul social circuit suggest that this harmony recently faced its most formidable test, not on a film set, but around a dinner table. The incident in question reportedly took place at a private gathering, an intimate summit intended to strengthen the bonds between the couple's inner circles. By all accounts, the evening began with the warmth and conviviality one would expect. Glasses were raised, pleasantries exchanged, and the atmosphere was thick with the promise of unity. But as the hours waned and the conversation deepened, the veneer of politeness allegedly began to crack. The catalyst. The one topic that has the power to dismantle even the strongest alliances, the future. It is claimed that what started as a casual discussion about upcoming schedules morphed into a high-stakes negotiation regarding the couple's life trajectory. The families, acting out of a primal instinct to protect their own, reportedly began to express divergent expectations. The central friction point appears to be a clash of geopolitical ambitions. On one side, we have the drive for international expansion, Kerem Bürsin's well-documented desire to leverage his global fame for projects in Spain, Italy, and the Americas. On the other side, there is the pull of the homeland, Hande Erçel's reported desire, or perhaps her family's desire for her, to solidify her reign in Turkey, focusing on prestige projects within the domestic market. This was not merely a disagreement about flight paths, it was a philosophical divergence. The rumors suggest that the families, in their zeal to advocate for their children's individual happiness and success, backed themselves into corners. Voices were raised, not in malice, but in passionate defense of conflicting roadmaps. The phrase future plans became a battleground. What was supposed to be a bridge-building exercise allegedly ended with emotional ultimatums, and a tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. In the age of social media, silence is a sound. And right now, the silence emanating from the Kerem and Hande camps is deafening. Following this reported summit of discord, the digital footprint of the couple has changed. The synchronized posts, the playful comments, the shared glimpses into their private world, all have seemingly evaporated into the ether. Hande Erçel, a woman whose digital presence is usually a masterclass in engagement, has retreated. Her recent posts have been strictly professional, devoid of the personal warmth fans have come to crave. Analysts interpret this as a defensive crouch. It is the behavior of someone who is protecting their energy, withdrawing from the public eye to navigate a private storm. Gossip circles whisper that this withdrawal is not entirely self-imposed. There is speculation that the family advice she received during that fateful meeting has taken root. Is she being urged to prioritize her individual brand over the collective couple brand? Is the maternal instinct of her close relatives pushing her toward a safer, more conservative career path, away from the risks of Kerem's international volatility? Conversely, we must look at Kerem Bürsin. Known for his candid nature and his us against the world mentality, his silence is equally telling. However, insiders paint a picture of him not as a passive participant, but as a frantic mediator. The rumor mill suggests that in the aftermath of the argument, Kerem has taken on the role of the diplomat, shuttling between the camps, trying to smooth ruffled feathers and translate intentions. He is reportedly fighting a two-front war, trying to appease the protective instincts of his own family while simultaneously reassuring Hande's side that his global ambitions do not come at the cost of her stability. This brings us to a fascinating sociological question, and I want to hear from the Whatever You Need community. In Turkish culture and indeed in many cultures around the world, the saying goes that you don't just marry the person, you marry the family. Do you believe a relationship can survive if the families are fundamentally at odds regarding the couple's future? Can love truly conquer a family Cold War, or is parental approval the ultimate deal-breaker? Pause the video right now and share your experiences or theories in the comments. And remember, if you want your comment to stand out with a loyalty badge, hitting that join button is the way to do it. We read everything, and we want to know where you stand. Let's dig deeper into the professional ambition aspect of this alleged crisis. The entertainment industry is a cruel machine that demands total devotion. The friction reportedly stems from the incompatibility of their calendars. If Kerem pursues a 6-month shoot in Madrid while Hande commits to a long-running drama in Istanbul, they face the physical erosion of their bond. The families, looking at this pragmatically, may have pointed out the obvious: long-distance relationships under the microscope of fame rarely survive. To the families, this is not cynicism, it is protection. They are reportedly urging caution, asking the couple to think with their heads rather than their hearts. But to the lovers, this pragmatism might feel like a betrayal, a vote of no confidence in the strength of their connection. This creates a psychological pressure cooker. Hande, who has frequently emphasized the sanctity of family in her interviews, is likely torn. How does one reconcile the advice of the people who raised you with the desires of the person you love? It is the classic conflict of duty versus passion. Kerem, whose mantra has often been, "If I love someone, I want to walk the same path," finds his philosophy challenged by the physical reality of distinct career paths. However, we must also act as the devil's advocate. Not every argument is a prelude to a breakup. Experienced industry figures, the veterans who have seen countless power couples rise and fall, are urging caution in interpreting these rumors. They suggest that what we are witnessing might not be a destruction but a correction. Every mature relationship eventually hits the wall of reality. The honeymoon phase ends, and the logistics of life intervene. These experts argue that if Kerem and Hande are having these difficult conversations now, fighting for their relationship against the pragmatic concerns of their families, it proves the depth of their commitment. They are not drifting apart, they are wrestling to stay together. There is a counter-narrative circulating that this entire crisis has been blown out of proportion by a gossip industry starved for content. In a slow news week, a difference of opinion over dinner can be telephoned into a shouting match, and a week of silence due to busy schedules can be spun into a breakup watch. Sources close to the couple insist that Kerem and Hande are simply staying away from the noise, protecting their delicate ecosystem from the pollution of public opinion. They are reportedly locking themselves away, physically and emotionally, to find a compromise that honors both their families and their love. Regardless of the severity, we are undeniably at a crossroads. The current status quo is unsustainable. The silence has created a vacuum, and vacuums are inevitably filled with wilder and wilder speculation. Every day that passes without a joint appearance, a shared photo, or a unified statement adds weight to the theory that the damage is real. The eyes of the entertainment world are fixated on the horizon, waiting for the proof of life. A single paparazzi shot of them holding hands in Bebek, a shared Instagram story from a movie night, or a joint attendance at a gala would instantly dissipate the fog of war. It would send a message to the families and the fans alike: we are a united front. But if the silence stretches into weeks, if the separate paths continue to diverge, then we may be forced to look back at that private dinner not as a bad night, but as the night the thread began to unravel. the stakes are incredibly high. We are not just talking about a breakup, we are talking about the dissolution of a brand, a partnership, and a shared dream that captivated millions. If the family pressure proves too great, it will reinforce the tragic archetype that in the world of celebrity, love is rarely just about two people. As we conclude this dossier, the question hangs heavy in the air: is this the calm before the storm, or the silence of the end? We will remain vigilant, monitoring the frequencies for any signal from the Bürsin or Erçel camps. But for now, the ball is in their court. They have the power to end the speculation with a single image, or to let the rumors write their obituary. Now, I turn the final verdict over to you. Do you think the families are right to intervene if they see potential heartbreak ahead? Or should they step back and let Kerem and Hande make their own mistakes? This is a debate about boundaries, love, and autonomy, and I want to see your thoughts in the comments. If you found this analysis insightful, if you appreciate that we treated this topic with the gravity of a geopolitical summit, please like this video. It tells the algorithm that quality matters. Ensure you are subscribed so you don't miss the update when or if the silence breaks. And finally, please consider clicking that join button to support the team here at whatever you need. Your support fuels our investigation. Until the next headline breaks, remember, in the world of fame, what isn't said is often louder than what is. Stay curious.